The Battle for Caen was a military engagement between the British Second Army and the German Panzergruppe West in the Second World War for control of the city of Caen and its vicinity during the Battle of Normandy. Caen is about 14 kilometers inland from the Calvados coast astride the Orne River and Caen Canal at the junction of several roads and railways. The communication links made it an important operational objective for both sides. Caen and the area to its south are flatter and more open when compared to the bocage country of western Normandy. And Allied Air Force commanders wanted the area captured quickly in order to construct airfields to base more aircraft in France proper. British 3rd Infantry Division was to seize Caen on D-Day or alternatively dig in short of the city. Caen, Bayeux and Carentan were not captured on D-Day, and the Allies concentrated on linking the beachheads. British and Canadian forces captured the area of Caen north of the Orne during Operation Charnwood, while the suburbs south of the river were captured by the 2 Canadian Corps during Operation Atlantic. The fighting was mutually costly and greatly deprived the Germans of the means to reinforce the western part of the invasion front. In the west, the 1st US Army captured Cherbourg and took Saint-Lô, about 60 kilometers west of Caen, on the 19th of July. On the 25th of July, the 1st Army began Operation Cobra, coordinated with the Canadian Operation Spring at Verrières Ridge, south of Caen. Much of Caen had been destroyed, particularly from Allied bombing. Many French civilians were killed. After the battle, little of the pre-war city remained and reconstruction lasted until 1962. The naval bombardment and bombing by the Allied air forces failed to have the destructive effect on German beach defenses hoped for, and in many places Allied infantry, engineers and tanks had to fight their way forward. The 3rd Canadian Infantry Division landed on Juno with the 7th Canadian Infantry Brigade to capture Courcelles. But this took until the afternoon. The 8th Canadian Infantry Brigade attack on Berniers and Saint-Aubin-sur-Mer met determined German resistance. And the 9th Canadian Infantry Brigade followed on as the tide rose higher and faster than usual, which narrowed the beach, making traffic jams at the beach exits much worse. On the left of the Canadians, the 8th Infantry Brigade came ashore on Sword with the 1st Special Service Brigade on its left flank to join the 6th Airborne Division at the Orne crossings. The German response was slower than the Allies expected. Because the decision to land on the 6th of June had caught the German commanders unprepared. By morning, reports received by the German 15th Army HQ led to the highest level of alert being ordered, but not at the 7th Army HQ, except for possible terrorist attacks.
In diesem Ort prallten die Panzer zusammen. In den engen Straßen wurde eine stärkere amerikanische Panzereinheit gestellt, zusammengeschossen. Seit dem ersten Tag der Invasion haben die Angloamerikaner rund 1000 schwere und schwerste Panzer verloren.
The 3rd Infantry Division had made swift progress from Sword against the 716th Division at Hermanville, Ouistreham and Colville, but was delayed further inland at strong points Daimler, Hillman, Morris and Rover. Hillman dominated the road south towards Caen and had been so cleverly fortified and camouflaged that its size and layout was a surprise. The fight for Hillman delayed the advance of the 8th and 185th Infantry Brigades and gave time for the infantry of the 21st Panzer Division to stop its counter-attacks against the 6th Airborne Division on either side of the Orne, to concentrate on the west side against the 3rd Infantry Division, despite being spotted and attacked from the air. Operation Perch was intended to create the threat of a British breakout to the southeast of Caen by 30th Corps. With the 50th Northumbrian Infantry Division capturing the road to Tilly-sur-Seulles. The 7th Armoured Division would then spearhead the advance to Montpinken. On the 9th of June, Montgomery ordered that Caen be taken by a pincer movement. The eastern arm of the attack would consist of 1st Corps with the 51st Highland Infantry Division, which was to cross into the Orne bridgehead and attack southwards to Cagney, 9.7 kilometers southeast of Caen. The 30th Corps would form the western arm of the pincer. The 7th Armoured Division would advance to the southeast and cross the Odin River to capture Eversey and Hill 112. The 30th Corps attacked Tilly-sur-Seulles against the Panzer-led division and part of the 12th SS Panzer Division, which held Tilly despite many casualties on both sides. The 1st Corps was delayed moving into position because the state of the channel slowed the arrival of follow-up divisions, and its attack was delayed until the 12th of June. The 51st Highland Division attacked the 21st Panzer Division, but its defence was determined, and on the 13th of June the offensive east of Caen was called off. On the right flank of the 30th Corps, the 352nd Infantry Division had been defeated by the 50th Northumbrian Division and the 1st US Division, and its remnants forced to flee southwards, leaving a 12.1 kilometers gap in the German front. The Battle of St. Lo was one of the 3 conflicts in the Battle of the Hedgerows, which took place between July the 7th and 19th, 1944, in St. Lo, Manche, Normandy, France, just before Operation Cobra. Saint-Lô had fallen to Germany in 1940, and, after the invasion of Normandy, the Americans targeted the city as it served as a strategic crossroads.
Die Besatzung wird abgeführt.
American bombardment caused heavy damage. Up to 95% of the city was destroyed and a high number of casualties, which resulted in the martyr city being called the capital of ruins, popularized in a report by Samuel Beckett. Following the invasion of Normandy, American forces began their advance towards Saint-Lô. Although progress was steady, it came at a high cost, an estimated 40,000 casualties for a gain of just 20 miles. Saint-Lô was the primary initial objective for the US forces, while the British aimed for the city of Caen.